From one massively populated country to another, our time in India began after our trip through Bangkok to get here from China. We focused in the top right corner of this map, in that kind of flattened capital Y-shaped reddish pink state called Assam. From there we went down into Meghalaya and then up to the greenish state called Sikkim. We came to this part of India to see animals at Kaziranga National Park, and we thought this sign was kind of funny, although it's a sad indicator that animal parts are still being traded illegally. But we got to our first hotel, and there was an animal waiting for us on the bed in the form of this lovely swan. And our first place also gave us the first of many scarf gifts, which is traditional in this part of India.
Airlines. BJP, EJP, and DPF airlines.
Huh. So many.
So all the people in these buses are here to listen to the politicians give a speech.
That's unbelievable, hey?
That's crazy. These buses. This has already been going for like a kilometer.
In the world.
Wow.
It's apparently alive and well.
Some serious public involvement.
Wow.
How long do you think this bus lineup is? Like a kilometer?
I don't know.
So many people.
So many people. So many people. All these buses.
One bus is 40, 35 people.
All through our Northeast India travels, we had private drivers, which seems to be one of the best ways to get around. This is Bashkar, who stopped at this delicious local restaurant on the way. And we finally made it to Kaziranga National Park. We were hoping to see elephants and one-horned rhinos and, of course, lots of birds. And it didn't take us long to see our first rhino, this of the domestic variety. It was a great drive, and we had already seen rhinos in the park on the side of the road. And this was not the last time that we were going to see Bashkar or his family, who we made an instant connection with.
Okay, here we are at our resort that we're staying at for 3 days, where we're going to see rhinos and elephants, which actually we've already seen on the road. There were rhinos and elephants. It was pretty cool. Really big. Like really big. But here are gonna be in the wild, and there's like we're in a park right now. So these are what we're staying in. These cute little tents. It's literally a tent. We didn't think it would actually be a tent because it's called Eco Camp, but we didn't think we'd actually be camping. But here we are. So this is outside. There's the boys' tent. We might have a few bugs. And here's the cute little beds. Here's the bathroom. It's like literally inside the tent. There's a zipper, there's a light, there's a funky looking toilet, there's even a shower, and a bucket. Yeah, okay. Pretty cute.
Pretty cute. It's an adventure.
It sure is.
And we are on the we're on the park side of the road. So what we learned is that the big road that goes through the middle, on one side it's farmland, and on the other side there's rhinos and elephants and tigers. And
Well, we didn't see any tigers yet.
No.
But we're hoping to.
But we're on that side of it.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yay.
So yeah, our tents in Kaziranga were a little bit rustic, but the breakfast food made up for it and much more. It was some of the best food we had in all of India, and of course we got roti every morning. And thus our Kaziranga tours kicked off with a bang. We got up every morning very early. And apart from the awaking wildlife, which we saw much of, we also saw many great signs about wildlife and wilderness.
Here we are, heading out on our first safari.
So fun!
We're having fun already. We love the comfy seats of this Jeep. Our Eco Camp, which is actually a camp, we're in a canvas tent, is in this tea garden.
Over there.
And we're taking our Jeep to go see rhinos and elephants and hopefully tigers.
There was a lot of binocular use in those few days that we spent here on our safaris.
Turns out the park has many species of deer. these are the biggest ones, which were quite large, like almost elk-sized. I don't know if they're the marsh deer, samble deer, or what, but they were absolutely everywhere. Every single place you looked, if you're looking for a tiger, if you're looking for a rhino or an elephant, you saw these deer. We also found many small creatures. This one found us. It's a beautiful little beetle that landed on Dad's hat one evening. I don't know if you can see the multiple elephants in this photo, but it was sometimes hard to spot the wildlife here.
We learned through this experience that we all really enjoy safariing by open jeep, as Julianne shows.
Here's a slightly better view of those elephants, but nothing like we will get later. From that little video and this photo of the overcrowded bridge, you can see that we were definitely not alone doing tours in Kaziranga Park. Then we went to the West Gate, Begori, and we got a lot closer to all the wildlife, including like a dozen rhinos, tons of water buffalo, some of them were bathing, which was really cool, and egrets, whole bunch of jacanas, and those are birds, by the way, and also the deer, obviously, and about 3 owlets. They were so cute.
As the sun set on our jeep safari excursions into Kaziranga, we got up the next morning for a totally different kind, by elephant back. Going by elephant offers a lot of a quieter experience, more in the nature itself, and of course the animals around you see the elephants and not the tourists. So we had fantastic views of these one-horned rhinos, as well as a number of bird species. Here are the girls on top of theirs. We were in a group of about 8 elephants, which was nice and quiet and calm, and it was very early in the morning, and so the sun was just coming up, and we got to go through this really tall grass as well. On our way from Assam to Meghalaya state, we met up with Bashkar and met his wife, and they gave us, of course, some gifts, including scarves, and then we were driving south towards Bangladesh, but of course not entering, stopping by this quite popular lake en route.
This is Chirpunji, mere kilometers away from the supposed wettest place on Earth by rainfall per year, but we were shocked to see how absolutely dry it was up here, and barren too.
Like, does this dry grassland look like the wettest place on Earth to you? I thought it must be a mistake on AI or something, so I looked it up again, and sure enough, it does receive the most rainfall per year anywhere in the world, except that because it's on this high plateau and it's rocky, it washes off all of the topsoil, and so nothing can actually grow, and that's why there's just this dry little grassland there. But then it's the steep mountains means that all the rain just goes right down, funnels down into the valleys, and that's where you get to see the lushness that comes from such a rainfall. Also, the rainfall is very intensified in certain times of the year. Other times of the year, it's like a drought. The reason we went to this place is so that we could go down these 4,000 stairs one way to get to Nongriat, which is where the living root bridges are.
The stairs were really steep, and we had a long ways to go. You see that farthest mountain over there? Yeah? Okay. You see those tiny buildings way far in the distance? That's where we were headed. We needed a lot of rest stops, even on the way down. It was grueling.
Along the way, we noticed little bits and pieces of wildlife, including lots of birds and insects, and not a lot of tourists, actually. And then we saw it, our first look at the living root bridges of Nongriat. What an experience. All right, here we are going into our first living root bridge down in the small town of Nongriat. We just came down a couple thousand stairs, 2,000 stairs. And here it is. A bridge made from roots from these fig trees. Over I don't know how many years. Only 2 at a time. And no public displays of affection are allowed on this bridge. 20,000 rupee fine. So Grayson's disappointed that we can't hug out here. Another smaller one right there. It's a pretty amazing area. The Himalayan foothills end right here. And all the water comes rushing down these mountains and down to the Bangladesh plain way down there. So there's many waterfalls around here. We have 2 nights down here. We're looking forward to it.
These bridges really were so satisfying because you may or may not know how much I love trees. So the fact that these trees were so powerful that they were actually considered more effective than human-made bridges, in that when the big rains come and the river level rises, these bridges, because they're attached to the trees and embedded in the ground, are actually more flexible and less likely to break during those times. And also just that humans were working with another species to get something that helped us but didn't damage the species, unlike just, bulldozing it and putting something human-made there. So I thought those were very cool.
Here we are at the waterfall. We all had to wear life jackets, and it was very, very, very cold.
This is where we stayed when we got down to the bottom in Nongriat, and as you can imagine, with 4,000 stairs between you and the next town, it was quite rustic. And we felt quite far away from the rest of the world here.
I absolutely loved these cute little newborn puppies here. They were so fluffy and adorable. I loved the little puppies.
I like this picture. It perfectly captures 1/900th of the stairs we climbed and the forced smile that we all were wearing that day.
All through India, you can just marvel at how the people who live here just make do with less, and they seem quite happy. Happy to see you, happy to be where they are, and even in huge train stations like this state capital where there's no seats, they just sit on the floor and make do. Our next destination was the state of Sikkim, which is sandwiched way up north of India in the Himalayas between Nepal to the west and the country of Bhutan to the east. And we came up here in the hopes of glimpsing some of the biggest mountains on earth, including Kanchenjunga, number 3. And we also found some pretty hilarious signs, and some of which spoke truth, like this one.
Here's the view of the mountainous city Gangtok, just from the deck on our place. It's a very beautiful city. Here it is at night, and it was great. It was sometimes cloudy, it obscured our view, but we usually had a supreme lookout over the surrounding mountains.
This is Rumtek Monastery in 24 kilometers from Gangtok in Sikkim, India. It's a Tibetan Buddhist monastery. Yesterday we went to Lingdam Monastery, where the Dalai Lama visited in 2010, and I think he has also visited here at some point, so we're going to go see what we can see.
On that flat cement area in the center of this picture, there's some kids there, and they were playing soccer, but they were like kid monks. It was interesting for our kids to see other kids living as monks at this monastery. Apparently there's 300 kids who live there. Some of them are there by choice because they want to be monks, and others, their parents brought them there, perhaps for reasons of poverty. They're all taken care of, they're educated and fed for free. Living at a monastery while you're young means that you do get an education and there's a healthcare safety net. But the monasteries understand that they're children when they're enrolled. So when they become adults, they have the flexibility to either remain as a monk, or they can become lay people and enter regular life. After Gangtok, the other place we went to in Sikkim was a town called Yuksum. It was also a small town. You can see the yaks on the road. We did a hike up to Dubdi Monastery, but nothing like, I mean, it was steep. It's steep everywhere. We're in the Himalayas, but nothing like the thousands of stairs down to Nongriat. Here's the little monastery. It's a pretty peaceful life for the monk who lives up there and takes care of it, and beautiful designs. We also went and stopped at this pond because we heard that there was a very rare species there, and we were lucky enough to see it. Look how cute. Though I thought of these colorful prayer flags as Tibetan, this is in Sikkim, and actually Sikkim sticks up north of India, and the Dalai Lama came through Sikkim first when he escaped. More on that later. And these prayer flags were right around this super ancient tree.
This was our place, Limbu Homestay. There were a lot of kitties here. I think they had like 5 or 9 or something, and they really liked the roof. I think because it was warm, so here in this photo you can see 2 of them on the roof, and I think I saw 5 of them on the roof once. Here's me holding the kitty, and they were so cute. I love these kitties. And at the end, when we left, we got special presents. We got scarves, very pretty silk scarves from the owners here. They were so kind, and they gave us these presents. We really loved our time at Limbu Homestay, and especially the kitties.
That video is just to show you what the roads are like and the constant beeping as you go around these sharp corners you can't see. And here's a spot we stopped just to check out a giant Buddha on the way.
From the narrow little, this is 2 lanes, roads in the mountains, you see these tiny little communities perched on the edges of rivers.
Although we had seen many, many strange things on the roads of India, this truck brandishing a huge Canadian flag still made us do a double take.
We thought these signs were really funny. This one says, "Offenders shall be fined," indicating that the offenders will be okay if they do anything wrong that is offending. This one says, "Offenders shall be fined sarcastically" at the bottom. So I guess the offenders will not be fined, it'll just be sarcastic. We like this one. It says, "Warning, do not mess with my vehicle. Serious injury or death may occur." It doesn't specify if the death is from the vehicle or from the person. And we like this one. The coconut is one of the things you can't bring in.
We had 4 cracks at seeing Kanchenjunga up in Sikkim, but rain, fog, clouds stopped us, but nothing stopped us on our flight across the Himalayas to Delhi. This is Kanchenjunga, number 3 in the world. It was a spectacular day to fly. And then we got to this crew. On the right, you've got Makalu, which is the 5th highest in the world. In the center, you've got Mount Everest. Just to the right of it is Lhotse, the 4th highest. And then that whitish one on the left is Cho Oyu, the 6th highest mountain in the world. We felt so fortunate to fly on such a beautiful blue sky day after all of our cloud and inclement weather. This is Everest on the left and Makalu on the right. And for Emily and I in particular, this was special because in 2007 we were at Everest Base Camp and it was cloudy and we couldn't see it. So this felt really good. There it is.
It was the end of our time in the eastern Himalayas.